Is I'm going to ask kind of three categories of questions ready to start our conversation, and then open it up to question and answer so that we have a broader dialogue. But first, if I could ask each of you to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Emily Jarvis in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry, and also teaching a course in the MESI program.
Trevor Zink, Associate Professor of Sustainability and Management here in CBA.
Hi, I'm Andy Rome, Marketing Professor and Co-Director of our M-School pathway within the Marketing Department.
I'm Madhu Vishwanathan, a Marketing Professor, and I'm very honored to teach Business for Good. We have some of our students here. And I'm also the Director of the D.K. Kim Foundation Business for Good program.
So one of the things to highlight is that we both have sustainability professionals and marketing professionals, and we'll be asking questions about both of those dimensions. But first, just general observations, what strikes you about this documentary, what would you call out, just kind of what did you see as you watched this?
So I went into watching the documentary with a kind of a skeptical mindset, because to me documentaries have a strong point of view one way or another. A good documentary wouldn't be one that was like, well, it could be like this, it could be like that. So the first half of the documentary to me wasn't really surprising, that Total Energies is a big, bad, multinational oil and energy corporation, probably motivated by profits more than anything, because it's a publicly traded company and has shareholders, that it has a fiduciary responsibility to earn returns. The second half is where it got interesting to me, because I learned a lot about carbon offsets, and to me that was like striking, how the ecosystem from Pure Projet and the organization that plants the trees, and then the verification company, it just seemed really like profit-driven and deceptive. So that's where the second half, I think, of the documentary became more real to me. Like, wow, this is something I didn't really know, and it was pretty disturbing to learn about the deceptiveness, or the perceived deceptiveness, of this carbon offset system.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great choice for a documentary. I really appreciate Jeff and Chire for choosing this. It's an old story with new language, right? I mean, and it's very interesting to see how the language has evolved and how greenwashing and sustainability is being co-opted. There have been other words that have been used for basically doing the same thing. And the reason I really liked it is it brings out, rather than showing greenwashing in an ad, brings out the depth of government and large corporation, other kinds of nexus that happens. So you can say greenwashing has evolved, or you can say this kind of an approach has evolved. Either way is fine. The other interesting thing is how multi-layers for an artificial market work. And in my blissful ignorance, I always thought, if you're not going to go to the core of the problem, which is production and costing carbon, then what's this where you keep doing what you want to do and so on, right? And this, exactly like Andy said, it really brought out the different layers. I'm reminded of the good intentions of some people to then create a fund, and then fund microfinancing institutions. Very good, very good experiment. But then the farther it goes away, the more layers there are, then, well, you got enforced borrowing, enforced repayment, and so on. So it's a similar kind of thing. It's a multi-layer thing. The third thing I just wanted to say very briefly is, we've been working in Uganda for about 10 years. We have a field team. My Business for Good students will be interviewing people from Uganda in 2 weeks. I've always wondered, this person who loses his land, we have so many labels. We've got ideological labels, other labels. What's the label for a person who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to basically take care of his family, and who's really in the free market? That is the free market. It's a very harsh free market. I've always wondered, where does that person fit in? I just wanted to say that.
Sure. I thought it was an interesting choice. I agree with my colleagues that bit on carbon standards, I imagine was probably newer to most